Hey guys, welcome to my channel Learning Made Easy Peasy. Hey everyone, I hope you all are doing well. Today in this class, we are going to learn the full history of 7th Standard Part 2 textbook, that is the Karnataka State Government published textbook, and this video is related to only competitives. Alright, so let's begin. The first lesson in this textbook is the advent of the Europeans to India. In this particular lesson, we are going to learn about the four Europeans, and they are the Portuguese, the Dutch, the English, and the French. So let's first study about the Portuguese. On 17th May 1498, Vasco da Gama reached Calicut in Kerala. This date is very important. Portuguese were the first to reach India and they were also the last ones to leave India. Again important. Zamarin, the king of Calicut, gave trade permission to Vasco da Gama. In 1509, Alfonso de Albuquerque was appointed as the governor or viceroy of India. And in 1510, Alfonso de Albuquerque captured Goa and Goa became the capital of Portuguese. All this is important. Francisco de Almeida was the first Portuguese viceroy or governor in India. He was made the first Portuguese viceroy or governor in India in 1505 CE. In 1961, Indian Navy liberated Goa from the Portuguese. The second were the Dutch. The Dutch were from Netherlands. In 1602, the Dutch East India Company was established. Again important. Pulicat was the capital of the Portuguese. Very important. They turned their attention towards the islands of Southeast Asia, that is the Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand, Philippines, and Cambodia. Why? For spices. The Dutch were interested in the spice trade. The third one were the English. The English had a peaceful trade policy at first. The East India Company, English East India Company, was established in 1600 CE. Very important. Sir Thomas Roe visited the court of the Mughal Emperor Jahangir in 1615 CE and obtained the permission to trade in Surat. Their first capital was Kolkata. Again important. English obtained the permission, that is Dastakhat, to trade without any tax in the Bengal province. The then Bengal comprised of Bengal, Bihar, Odisha and Agra from the Mughal Emperor Farrukhsiyar. Understand the difference between these two. First, the Sir Thomas Roe visited the court of Mughal Emperor Jahangir, and from Jahangir he sought the permission to trade in Surat only. And it is just the trade, not tax-free trade. This happened in 1615 CE. But later in time, they visited the Mughal Emperor Farrukhsiyar, and from Farrukhsiyar they sought the permission to trade tax-free, without any tax, in the Bengal province. The tax-free trade license was called as Dastak. The last ones were the French. The French were the last to reach India for trade. The French East India Company was established in 1664 CE. All these years are very important. Please remember them. The French opened their first warehouse in Surat in 1668 CE. Pondicherry was their capital. The capitals are also very important. The Carnatic Wars were fought between the French and the British. These Carnatic Wars are often referred to as the trade wars. Trade wars. So with this, we have completed the first lesson. Let us learn the second lesson, that is the rise of the British political supremacy in India. The Battle of Plassey was fought on 23rd June 1757 CE. This date is very important. Please remember. Alivardi Khan was the Nawab of Bengal. After the death of Alivardi Khan, Siraj-ud-Dawla became the Nawab of Bengal. But Siraj-ud-Dawla came in conflict with the British. So the British wanted to remove him from the seat of the Nawab of Bengal somehow. For this, they made a secret pact. The secret pact was made between the Robert Clive of British and the commander of the Nawab army, Mir Jafar. Mir Jafar ditched Siraj-ud-Dawla in the Battle of Plassey, because of which Siraj-ud-Dawla lost and Mir Jafar was made the Nawab of Bengal by the Britishers. This deal was brokered by a merchant, Amin Chand. The Battle of Buxar 1764. This year is very important. Mir Jafar was made the Nawab of Bengal, but he was also dethroned. Why so? Because Mir Jafar couldn't fulfill all the greedy demands of the Britishers. And his nephew Mir Qasim was made the Nawab of Bengal. But when Mir Qasim saw that the Britishers were misusing the dastaks, he made all the trade tax free in Bengal. As a result, the British came in competition with the Indian merchants. So the Britishers were very irritated and they dethroned Mir Qasim and they rethroned Mir Jafar and made him the Nawab of Bengal again. Because Mir Qasim was dethroned, he made an alliance with the Nawab of Awadh Shujauddaulah and the Mughal Emperor Shah Alam II and fought against the Britishers. But the Hector Munro of British defeated them all. This battle was called as the Battle of Buxar. After Mir Jafar's death, Nizam-ud-Dawla became the Nawab of Bengal. The Coromandel area, that is, the coastal region of the Tamil Nadu and Andhra Pradesh, was called as Carnatic. All the wars that were fought in this place were called as Carnatic Wars. The First Carnatic War happened over the succession of Austria in Europe. Arcot was the capital of the Carnatic province. This war ended with the Treaty of Aix-la-Chapelle. These treaties are very important. Please remember them. The Second Carnatic War happened over the succession of Arcot and Hyderabad. In Arcot, Chand Sahib and Anwaruddin were fighting for power, and in Hyderabad, Nasir Jung and Muzaffar Jung were fighting for the power. English and French entered into these internal conflicts, and Second Carnatic War was fought. This war ended with the Treaty of Pondicherry. English won at Arcot and French won at Hyderabad. The Third Carnatic War in Europe, the 7 Years' War started between British and French in 1756 CE. British under Sir Ayer Kuti and French under Comte de Lally faced each other at Wandiwash near Pondicherry. French were completely defeated. With this Battle of Wandiwash, French completely declined in India. This Third Carnatic War ended with the Treaty of Paris. This is important. Later, the English Governor General Lord Wellesley introduced subsidiary alliance in 1798 CE. The year is important. States that came under the Treaty of Subsidiary Alliance were Hyderabad, Mysuru, Travancore, Baroda, Jaipur, Jodhpur, Bharatpur, Nagpur, Gwalior, Oudh, Tanjore, Surat, etc. The first was the Nizam of Hyderabad. The Nizam of Hyderabad was the first person to accept this subsidiary alliance. Then we have the doctrine of lapse that was introduced by the Governor General Lord Dalhousie. This was introduced from 1848 to 1856. Oudh, Satara, Nagpur and Jhansi were the places that accepted this doctrine of lapse of Lord Dalhousie. Here we have completed the second lesson. Now let's learn the third lesson. The third lesson is Impact of the British Rule in India. Governor General Warren Hastings introduced bidding system to authorize tax collecting works. The permanent land revenue system was also called as Zamindari system. This was introduced by Governor General Lord Cornwallis in 1793 CE. Decided to fix the land tax on a permanent basis in Bengal, Bihar and Odisha. The agreement he did with the zamindars for tax collection is called Permanent Land Revenue System. The direct relationship between the governor and the farmer, that is Rayat, was called as Rayatwari system. It was brought into effect by Sir Thomas Munro in Madras region in 1820. This is important. Mahal means village or estate. Mahalwari system was implemented in UP, that is Uttar Pradesh, MP, Madhya Pradesh and Punjab. So three systems, that is Zamindari system, Rayatwari system and Mahalwari system. All these three systems are important. Remember the years when they were introduced and by whom they were introduced. Under the Charter Act of 1813, 1 lakh rupees was kept aside for the education of Indians. This is very important. It was asked several times in several previous competitive exams. The Charter Act of 1813, according to this act or under this act, 1 lakh rupees was kept aside for the education of the Indians. In 1853, Governor General William Bentinck finally announced the education policy which opted English medium of instructions. Sir William Jones, who was the judge of the Supreme Court of India, founded Asiatic Society of Bengal 1784 CE. This is again very important. Who founded the Asiatic Society of Bengal in 1784 CE? It was Sir William Jones. Who was he? He was the judge of the Supreme Court of India. Sir Charles Wilkes translated Bhagavad Gita into English in 1785 CE. Max Muller translated Rig Veda. Macaulay declared, Macaulay means T.B. Macaulay, he declared, all the books written in the Sanskrit language are less valuable than what may be found in the most paltry abridgment used at the preparatory schools in England. New education system in 1854 based on the report of Charles Wood. Universities were established at Bombay, Calcutta and Madras in 1857 CE. English became the official administrative language by 1844 CE. Before English, which was the administrative language? It was Persian. English East India Company was only a trade company till 1757, that is the Battle of Plassey. After the Battle of Plassey, the English East India Company became a political power. According to Dadabhai Naoroji, wealth drain resulted in poverty. Adam Smith, the father of economics, has described the British in India as the plunderers. This is very important. Who described the British in India as the plunderers? It was Adam Smith, the father of economics. The Governor General Warren Hastings implemented the Regulating Act of 1773. This act gave a constitution to the English East India Company. Prime Minister William Pitt brought in the Pitt's India Act in 1784 CE. Morley Minto reforms 1909. Morley was the Secretary of the State and Minto was the Viceroy of India. Often the students get confused as to who was the Secretary of State and who was the Viceroy of India. It is very easy to remember. See, Secretary of State starts with S and Viceroy of India starts with V. In the alphabets, we have first S, after S we have V. So Morley was the Secretary of State, whereas Minto was the Viceroy of India. Easy? Morley Minto reforms 1909. Montego Chelmsford reforms 1919. Please remember the years. So here you see Montego Chelmsford reforms. Montego was the Secretary of the State and Chelmsford was the Viceroy of India. Montego was the Secretary of State and Chelmsford was the Viceroy of India. How easy it is. Montego declared that the British government wants to provide more representation to Indians in administration. An Indian High Commissioner was posted in London. The Government of India Act of 1935 was introduced and it gave Federation of India, that is a federal of India. Diarchy. What do you mean by diarchy? A government in which the power is vested in two rulers or authorities. Basically, it means that the division of the central legislature into two houses. So here the diarchy was introduced at the central government, right? So the central government, that is the central legislature, was divided into two houses, that is the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. With this, we have completed the third lesson as well. Now let us learn the fourth lesson, that is the social and the religious reforms. Humanism and rationality of the West influenced the Indians and led to the development of Romanticism in India. The main feature of Romanticism is quest for equality, also called as social and religious reform movement. The first reformer is Raja Ram Mohan Roy. He started Brahmo Samaj in 1828 CE. Raja Ram Mohan Roy is also called as the father of Indian Renaissance. He is also called as father of Indian Renaissance. Rabindranath Tagore has called him as the father of modernism. He was the first man to create social awareness in modern times. He started Atmiya Sabha. In 1828, he started Brahmo Sabha. Next year, it was named as Brahmo Samaj. He said, worship only one supreme God. William Bentinck abolished Sati system in 1829. Rajaram Mohan Roy published Samvada Kaumudi magazine. He was first to support English education in India. First Indian reformer to support English education in India was Rajaram Mohan Roy. He started Vedanta College. This is very important. Mughal Badshah gave the title Raja to Ram Mohan Roy in 1829 CE. Who was this Mughal Badshah? It was Akbar II. Akbar II gave the title of Raja to Rajaram Mohan Roy in 1829 CE. Second, we have Atmaram Panduranga. He started the Pratna Samaj in 1867 in Bombay. Third, Jyotiba Phule, Mahatma Jyotiba Phule. He started the Satya Shodhak Samaj in 1873 in Maharashtra. He started non-Brahmin movement also in Maharashtra. He published a book titled Gulamgiri, that is slavery. The basic theme of this book, Gulamgiri, was injustice of the caste system. He dedicated this book, Gulamgiri, to the American movement to free slaves. He found similarities between the conditions of the low caste people in India and the conditions of the black slaves in America. This is asked several times, so please remember this, that the book Gulam Giri, that is slavery, was written by Mahatma Jyotiba Phule and he dedicated it to the American movement. American movement. Then he opened a school for girls with his wife Savitri Bai Phule. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar considered him as his philosophical guide. Again important. Who considered him as his philosophical guide? Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Who was the philosophical guide of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar? It was Mahatma Jyotiba Phule. Young Bengali movement, this was a movement or the work of Rajaram Mohan Roy. He tried to encourage the youth of India. One such youth who was encouraged by him was Henry Vivian Derozio. He led a movement called Tarun Bengal movement. Through this movement, he tried to encourage the youth of India to become rational and individual. But the Indians of that time did not respond much to this movement. Next, that is the fourth person we have is Swami Dayanand Saraswati. He started Arya Samaj in 1875 CE. His first name was Moola Shankara. Dayanand Saraswati gave call go back to Vedas. Worship only one supreme God. He published Satyartha Prakash. Lala Hans Raj, a leader of Arya Samaj, established Dayanand Anglo-Vedic School in Lahore. This is important. Who established the Dayanand Anglo-Vedic School in Lahore? It was Lala Hans Raj. Dayanand Saraswati started Shuddhi movement. He wanted to bring back all the converted people back to Hinduism. For that thing, he started the Shuddhi movement. Next, we have Swami Vivekananda. Arise, awake, stop not till you reach the goal. The first name of Swami Vivekananda was Narendranatha Datta. He was born on 12th January 1863. He was the disciple of Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. His talk at the First World Religious Convention, Chicago, it happened in 1893, brought him fame and recognition. Why? Because he started or began his speech with the famous words, Sisters and Brothers of America, which was very catching. He declared, as long as people of India are in the clutches of poverty and hunger, I will take birth again and again in India to eradicate them. Pandit Keshav Chandra Vidyasagar started a Sanskrit college for non-Brahmins in 1856. A widow remarriage. This was the first widow remarriage that happened at Calcutta. This happened on 7th December 1856. And this happened under the leadership of Vidyasagar. Vidyasagar spent his own money to do this marriage. Swami Vivekananda established Ramakrishna Mission. He said, welfare of women is the welfare of a country. Bal Gangadhar Tilak has called Swami Vivekananda as the father of Indian nationalism. This is important. Who called Swami Vivekananda as the father of Indian nationalism? It was Bal Gangadhar Tilak. Swami Vivekananda visited Mysuru Palace on the invitation of Chamaraja Vadiyar X, who gave him the financial support to visit Chicago. Again important, Mysuru Vadiyar opened 3 separate schools for Dalits on Vivekananda's advice. Next we have Madam H.P. Blavatsky and Colonel H.S. Olcott. They established Theosophical Society in New York in 1875 CE. The international center of this society was started at Adyar near Madras in India. Dr. Annie Besant became its president. Dr. Annie Besant published a newspaper called New India. This is important. Annie Besant started Central Hindu College in Banaras. Later it became Banaras Hindu University, that is BHU. Again very important. She established the organization called Torch Bearers to eradicate child marriage and superstitions. She also started a home rule movement in 1916. Again important. Annie Besant was the first woman president of INC. Very, very important. We have Sir Syed Ahmad Khan. In 1863, Nawab Abdul Latif had started Mohammedan Literary Society. Sir Syed Ahmad Khan provided this attempt the form of a movement. To translate the English literature into Urdu, he had established a translation society. This later became the Scientific Society. He published a newspaper, Aligarh Institute Gazette. This was published both in English and Urdu languages. He started Mohammedan Anglo-Oriental College in 1875. This later became Aligarh Muslim University in 1920. This is very important. Aligarh movement was also started by Sir Syed Ahmad Khan. The school became the center of this movement in the later time. Then we have Sri Narayana Guru. His influence is considerable in Karnataka, so he is very important from the point of view of Karnataka competitive exams. He established Sri Narayana Dharma Paripalana Yogam in 1902. It is 1902 actually. Ezava community. He belonged to Ezava community, which was a downtrodden community. He declared one God, one religion. Narayana Guru and Periyar started self-respect movement in 1920s. Actually, this self-respect movement was started by Periyar. That is E.V. Ramaswamy Naikar. E.V. Ramaswamy Naikar. His full name is Irode Venkatappa Ramaswamy Naikar. With love, he was called as Periyar. Then we have Savitribai Phule. She started a school for girls in Pune along with her husband Jyotiba Phule. She led Satya Shodhak Samaj after the death of her husband. Tarabai Shinde, first woman fighter of Maharashtra. She has opposed the exploitation of women in her books Stri Purusha Tulna. This is very important. It has been asked several times in several competitive exams. Who wrote the book Stri Purusha Tulna? It was Tarabai Shinde. Pandit Ramabai, she was the Christian reformer of India. She established Mukti Mission in 1889 CE. Important. Here we have completed the 4th lesson. Lesson is freedom struggle. In the freedom struggle, we can see that many territories of India fought against the Britishers. Anglo-Mysore War happened from 1767 to 1799. 1799, Tipu died. Then the Anglo-Maratha wars were fought from 1775 to 1818 CE. In 1800 CE, Dondiwag revolted against the British, but Arthur Wellesley arrested him and killed him. In 1819, A zamindar named Veerappa of Koppala revolted against the Nizam. He was also suppressed by the British. Divakara Dikshit and Balaji Deshpande of Sindagi in Raichur revolted against the British. Rani Channamma of Kittur of Belgavi district waged war against the British from 1824 to 1830. Revolts happened in Badami, Bidanur, and Kodagu districts. War of 1857 was called as Sepoy Mutiny by the Britishers, but it was called as First War of Indian Independence by Indians. Subsidiary Alliance by Lord Wellesley and Doctrine of Lapse by Lord Dalhousie annexed many Indian territories. English became the language of administration instead of Persian. Persian was the language of administration since the times of Delhi Sultanate. But when the Britishers came to power, they made English the language of administration. British criticized Indians as primitives who have no culture and civilization. They called Indians as pigs and black people. Entry of dogs and Indians prohibited. This was written on the entry of hotels and clubs under the supervision of British. Lord Canning's Common Civil Rules Act. According to this act, the Indian soldiers were expected to work in the distant places as per the orders. Introduction of a new gun Enfield rifle in the year 1857 in the army was made. The paper covers of this gun was coated with pig's fat or cow's fat, and we all know that the pig's fat was prohibited for the Muslims and the cow's fat was prohibited for Hindus because it was sacred for them. The revolt began on 10th May 1857 in Meerut. This is very important. The date is to be remembered. The revolt first began in Meerut and when on 10th May 1857. Mangal Pandey, an Indian soldier of Bharakpur, Bengal, shot dead a British officer. Soldiers rushed to Delhi shouting Maro Parangi Ko, which meant kill Europeans. They crowned Mughal king Bahadur Shah II as the Emperor of India. Parangi is a Persian word. It's of Persian origin. It is used in Hindi and Urdu to mean European. This is important. The leaders of the revolts, this is very important. Colonel Bhakt Singh, he revolted from Delhi. Nana Sahib and Tanta Tope revolted from Kanpur. Begum Hazrat Mahal revolted from Lucknow. Rani Lakshmi Bai revolted from Jhansi. Kuwar Singh revolted from Bihar. In Karnataka, this is also very important. Please remember, Bhim Rao revolted from Mundargi. Tribal Bedas revolted from Halagali. Venkatappa Nayaka IV revolted from Surapura and Baba Saheb revolted from Naragund. In 1858, Queen Victoria of British made a proclamation that there would be no more interference into the religious freedom of Indians. Vinayak Damodar Savarkar was the first among those who called it as the first war of Indian independence. Pattabhi Sitaramaiah was another person who called it as the first war of Indian independence. Freedom movement from 1885 to 1919. Nationalism means the germination of the feeling that we are one in the minds of the people of distant geographical area. Dadabhai Nauroji gave the theory of the drain of wealth. Indian National Congress was founded in 1885. INC, that is Indian National Congress, was the dream child of the retired British civil servant Ellen Octavian Hume. He established it in 1885 in Mumbai. Umesh Chandra Banerjee was the first president of this Congress. 72 members were there in the first convention of the Congress. Age of Moderates from 1885 to 1905. Important. The year is very important. The method of praying, pleading, and agitating. Dadabhai Nauroji, Surendranath Banerjee, Gopal Krishna Gokhale, Mahadev Govind Ranade, and there were many others. These were all moderates. Their demands were cancellation of Ban on Weapons Act, complete cancellation of tax on salt, conducting the ICS exam simultaneously in England and India, creating representations for Indians in the Central and Provincial Legislative Assembly. The age of radicals was from 1905 to 1919. Again important, the years are to be remembered. They call the policy of moderates as the policy of mendicancy. What do you mean by mendicancy? Mendicancy means the practice of begging. So the radicals happen to call the policy of moderates as the policy of begging. Wait and see policy of the moderates was questioned by the radicals. Lala Lajpat Rai, Bal Gangadhar Tilak, Bipin Chandra Pal, they were the famous radicals. Aurobindo Ghosh was also a radical. Lala Lajpat Rai, Bal Gangadhar Tilak, Bipin Chandra Pal, they were famous as Bal Pal Lal. The reasons that led to the growth of radicals: ignoring Indians for higher posts in administration, the division of Bengal by Lord Curzon in 1905. Russia, such a big country, was defeated by a small country of Asia, that is Japan, in 1905. Inspired by the revolutionary movements that took place in Ireland, Russia, China, Turkey, Egypt, etc. Bal Gangadhar Tilak said, "Swaraj is my birthright and I shall have it." He published the newspapers Maratha in English and Kesari in Marathi. Pal, that is Bipin Chandra Pal, started Daily New India newspaper. Aurobindo Ghosh started Vande Mataram. Lala Lajpat Roy was popular as the Lion of Punjab. Here there is another thing to be remembered, students, that is Ranjit Singh. Ranjit Singh of Punjab. He was also called as the Lion of Punjab, that is Shere Punjab. So whenever they ask you the question as who was called as the Lion of Punjab, and if you see both the options, that is Lala Lajpat Rai and Ranjit Singh, then you will get a grace mark. But you have to remember that these both, that is Lala Lajpat Rai and Ranjit Singh, they both were called as the Lion of Punjab. So please do not get confused. He said, "We get Swaraj as a right and not as arms." Bipin Chandra Pal organized mass protests in Bengal. The partition of Bengal happened in 1905. Lord Curzon divided Bengal in 1905. 16th October 1905. This is the exact date when the partition of Bengal took place on the basis of religion, that is Hindu-Muslim. Both Hindus and Muslims never wanted this to happen, so they observed this day as the National Mourning Day. Mourning means what? It is the sorrow, the expression of sorrow on somebody's death. Throughout Bengal, Rabindranath Tagore sang the song Amar Sonar Bangla as the national song, and Bankim Chandra's Vande Mataram became the favorite of all the nationalists. Because of all these revolts, the Britishers cancelled the partition of Bengal in 1911. This date is very important. In 1906, again important, a Muslim committee met the VOI, that is Viceroy of India, Lord Minto. Sir Aga Khan, Nawab Salimullah of Dhaka, and others established the Indian Muslim League in Dhaka. This is the present capital of Bangladesh in 1906. All this is very important. Please remember the names of the people involved. Sir Aga Khan, Nawab Salimullah of Dhaka, and few others. Surat Crisis 1907. In 1907, the Congress session was held at Surat. And in this session, the Congress was split into two, that is moderates and radicals, because of their different views. Bal Gangadhar Tilak was given the Blackwater punishment. He was sent to Mandalay Jail, Burma. Morley Minto reforms that happened in 1909 created separate election constituency for the Muslims. The First World War happened in 1914, from 1914 to 1918. In 1916, Lokmanya Tilak, that is Bal Gangadhar Tilak, and Annie Besant organized Home Rule movement. This movement was inspired by the Irish Home Rule movement. This is again important. Main objective of Home Rule movement was self-government. Tilak started Home Rule movement in April 1916 at Belgaum. And Annie Besant started Home Rule movement in September 1916 at Madras. This is to be remembered. Please remember the month. Tilak started it in April 1916 and Annie Besant started it in September 1916. The year is same but the places and the months are different. April and September, he started it in Bengal and she started it in Madras. Next, we have Rowlatt Act 1919. In 1917, a committee was formed under the guidance of Justice Rowlatt. Rowlatt Act was implemented in February 1919. Jallianwala Bagh Massacre 1919. On 13th April 1919, the exact date, some people had gathered in the garden of Jallianwala Bagh, which was a little away from the Golden Temple in Amritsar. Why they had gathered? They had gathered to protest against the arrest of their leaders, that is Dr. Saifuddin Kichlu and Dr. Satyapal. This was disliked by the Britishers. And the security officer of Amritsar, that is General Dyer, he ordered open fire on the public in Jallianwala Bagh garden. Some radicals set themselves for armed revolution and they called themselves as revolutionary nationalists. All this is important. Vasudev Balwant Phadke was the first among the revolutionaries who formed the secret organization. Khudiram Bose was the first martyr to be hanged in the history of Indian freedom struggle. 1908 he was hanged in and he was just 19 years old when he was hanged. This is very important. Vinayak Damodar Savarkar set up the first secret organization called Mitra Mela in 1899. This is again important. The first secret organization was Mitra Mela. Please remember, Chandrasekhar Azad joined Hindustan Socialist Republican Association. Kakori conspiracy. This was the train robbery that happened on 9th August 1925. This was done by Ram Prasad Bismil and Ashfaqullah Khan. In 1929, Bhagat Singh, Rajguru, Sukhdev bombed Central Legislative Assembly in Delhi. All these are very important. The Kakori train conspiracy is important. Then the bombing of Central Legislative Assembly in Delhi is also important. Please remember all these things. Bhagat Singh was the first Indian to give the call Inqalab Zindabad, which means long live the revolution. Again, very important. Gandhian age from 1919 to 1947. Gandhi ji was called as Bapu. Non-violence and satyagraha were his weapons. Gandhi ji was born on 2nd October 1869 at Porbandar in Gujarat. He was influenced by Bhagavad Gita, John Ruskin's Unto This Last, Leo Tolstoy's The Kingdom of God is Within You, and Satya Harishchandra's drama. On the invitation of Dada Abdullah Company, Gandhi ji had went to South Africa as a legal advisor to the cousin of this Dada Abdullah. He was just 23 years old when he went to South Africa. And when did he return? Gandhi ji returned from South Africa on 9th January 1915. 9th January 1915. This exact day when he returned to India is observed as Pravasi Bharatiya Divas, that is non-resident Indian Day. Please remember this is very important. White government, the racial policy was condemned by him. The theory of Satyagraha has been joined by the two Sanskrit words. Satya means real fact and Agraha means compulsion. So this together means stand firmly by the side of truth. Gandhiji established Sabarmati Ashram in 1916 CE. His political guru was Gopala Krishna Gokhale. Champaran Satyagraha 1917 CE. This was against the plantation of indigo. Kheda struggle 1918 CE. Kheda is a very important district of Gujarat. Rajendra Prasad emerged as the leader from Champaran movement and Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel emerged as a leader from Kheda movement. This is important, please remember. In the Champaran movement, Dr. Rajendra Prasad played a very important role and he emerged as a leader from this movement. And in Kheda movement, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel played a very important role and he emerged as a leader from this Kheda movement. The Turkey Empire was under the hands of the Khalifa. Khalifa was the supreme religious leader of Muslims. The Turkey stood against the British in the First World War and was defeated. In 1919, leader Kamal Pasha of Turkey pushed out the caliphs and he came to power. So the Muslims of India and all over the world did not like this and they reacted. They launched the Khilafat movement. Khilafat movement was launched by Muhammad Ali and Shaukat Ali. They are famous as Ali brothers and they were the main leaders of this movement. All this is important. Non-cooperation movement from 1920 to 1922. Non-cooperation movement was started by Gandhi ji and all over India people protested and participated in the non-cooperation movement. Rabindranath Tagore returned his knighthood and Gandhi ji returned his Kesari Hind Award. 22 policemen were burnt alive in the police station in Chauri Chaura in 1922. What exactly happened over here is the policemen first fired on a mob who were participating in the non-cooperation movement. As a result, this mob burnt the whole police station in Chauri Chaura, in which 22 policemen died. After this incident, Gandhi ji took back the non-cooperation movement. From 1924 to 1929, Gandhi ji engaged himself in popularizing Khadi and uplifting Harijans. Swaraj Party was made or founded by C.R. Das and Motilal Nehru. Gandhiji's important books, My Experiments with Truth, Hind Swaraj, and Satyagraha in South Africa. He wrote journals, Harijan and Young India. This is very important. Please remember these. The books that were written by Gandhiji and the journals that were introduced or written by Gandhiji are very important. They are asked several times. Then we have Nehru Report 1927 CE. Simon Commission 1928 CE. British government sent Simon Commission to India to study the 1919 reforms, that is the Montagu-Chelmsford reforms, and give report. But in this commission, all the people that were involved were the Britishers. There was not even one Indian involved in this. So the Indians did not like it. They felt that what they will understand our problems. So they gave the very famous slogans of Simon Go Back and they protested against the Simon Commission. Lala Lajpat Rai died in this police lathi charge in 1928. Complete independence. A call for complete independence, that is Purna Swaraj, was given in the Lahore Convention of INC 1929. 26 January 1930 marked the Purna Swaraj Day. The Constitution of Independent India was adopted on 26 January 1950 because this date was very important for Indians. In order to not forget this day, in order to always remember this day, the independent India adopted the Constitution on 26 January 1950. It is celebrated as Republic Day every year in India. Finally, we have the civil disobedience movement. Gandhiji started civil disobedience movement with Dandi March on 12th March 1930. Please remember the date, it is important. With chosen 78 followers from Sabarmati Ashram to Gujarat's Dandi. He walked for 375 kilometers. This kind of salt satyagraha also happened in Ankola in Karnataka. This is important. The frontier Gandhi Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan established Khudait Khidmatgar, that is Servants of the God Association. Again, very important, please remember. Who established the Khudait Khidmatgar Servants of the God Association? It was the frontier Gandhi Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan. Rani Gaidin Liu, a 13-year-old girl from Nagaland, revolted against the British. British government organized three roundtable conferences in London. Gandhiji participated only in the second roundtable conference. British Viceroy Ramsay MacDonald announced communal award in 1932. According to this communal award, he gave separate constituency to the depressed classes. This was not liked by Gandhiji. So Gandhiji started fast unto death at Eravada jail in Pune. Finally, Gandhiji and Ambedkar signed a Pune Pact in 1932 and this problem was solved. After that, the Government of India Act of 1935 was introduced. Quit India movement, 8th August 1942 CE. Please remember the date, it is very important. The slogan was do or die. This slogan was given by Gandhiji. Subhash Chandra Bose. He got 4th rank in the ICS exam that was held in London. Bose resigned from the Congress party in 1939 due to serious differences with Gandhiji. What were the serious difference between Bose and Gandhiji? Bose said that there should be total revolution and he had a radical approach towards this freedom struggle. But Gandhiji had a non-violent approach towards this freedom struggle and he said we should do moral persuasion. So because of this serious differences, Bose could not tolerate him and he left Congress party in 1939. He founded the Forward Bloc Party. Again important, who founded Forward Bloc Party? It was Subhash Chandra Bose. Subhash Chandra Bose is very important. Many questions appear on him in various competitive exams. So please read as much as you can about this Subhash Chandra Bose. 40,000 imprisoned Indian soldiers of Japan united under the leadership of Mohan Singh and formed Indian National Army or Azad Hind Fauj, that is INA. Bose arrived in Singapore and accepted the leadership of INA in 1943. He was called as Netaji with love. An independent interim government of India was founded in Singapore, and this interim government of India was recognized by the governments of Italy, Germany, and Japan. Italy, Germany, and Japan recognized this interim government of India that was founded in Singapore. Important. INA attacked India from Burma and moved 150 miles into Indian territory by saying Chalo Delhi. This slogan was used somewhere else also. Where it was, if you know it, then comment below. Rangoon, the capital of Burma, was captured by British. Japan surrendered in 1945. Netaji, who boarded the plane on 18th August, disappeared. Netaji said, "You give me blood and I will give you freedom." This is important. Then we have Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Very important. Please read as much as you can on Dr. B.R. Ambedkar because many questions appear on him. He belonged to the untouchable caste Mahar. This is important. It was asked several times. Mahar. He started Mahat movement and entering the Kalaram temple of Nasik. He edited Muka Nayaka and Bahishkrut Bharat. These were the newspapers that were started by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. He established Bahishkrut Hitakarani Sabha. He attended all the three roundtable conferences that were held by the Britishers in London as a representative of the Dalit class. He is remembered as the chief architect of the Indian Constitution. He was the first law minister of independent India. He accepted Buddhism in his later age because he was fed up of the caste system of Hinduism. He got Bharat Ratna in 1919 posthumously, that is after his death. Education, organization and agitation. Educate yourself, then organize yourself and later agitate for what you want. This is very important. Socialist. 1934 Socialist Group. This socialist, that is the Congress Socialist Party, it was formed by Jai Prakash Narayan. He later became the General Secretary of this Congress Socialist Party. He entered the politics in 1974 and called for total revolution. People called him as Lokanayak out of love. This is very important. Who was called as Lokanayak? It was Jai Prakash Narayan. Towards independence, Labour government came to power in 1945 in Britain. That is United Kingdom, UK. On 3rd June 1947, the last Viceroy of the British Indian Empire and the first Governor General of independent India, Lord Mountbatten. Please remember this, it is very important. Lord Mountbatten was the last Viceroy of the British Indian Empire and the first Governor General of independent India. He declared the division of India. On 14th August 1947, Pakistan became separate from India. India became independent on 15th August 1947. Jawaharlal Nehru became the first Prime Minister of independent India. All this is important. Most of the things that appear in the lesson of freedom struggle are all very important. This lesson itself is important from the point of view of competitive exams. So please read as much as you can. The sixth lesson is pro-people movements of Karnataka. First is environment movements. Environment means the living and the non-living. Gandhiji says nature has everything to fulfill man's need, but not his greed. How true is this? Sahyadri Mining Protest Forum started opposing the mining operations in Kudremukh and surrounding areas. Tunga River Protection. Tunga and Bhadra are two different rivers. When they meet at one point, then we call it as Tungabhadra River. So the Bhadra River, it originates in Gangamula near Kudremukh Western Ghats range. Bhadra River gets polluted at its source itself, that is in Gangamula itself. Why? Because of the iron processing unit that was set up by the central government. Salu Marada Timmakka, she is the mother of 284 trees. Though she was illiterate and uneducated, but she knew the importance of the environment. Chipko and Apiko movement were done to save forests. Sundarlal Bahuguna belongs to Chipko movement. Forest department started planting important imported plants like Nilgiris and Acacia. This project was called as social forestry. But the environmentalists protested against the planting of the Nilgiris. Why so? Because it would push the groundwater table level down. This is important. Okay. In Karnataka, organic farming mission was established, leading to the encouragement of organic farming. The very important women's movement. In Karnataka, Sri Rangamma and Rukmannamma were the first women to get the BA Honours degree. Important. Indramma was the first woman mayor of Bengaluru. Very, very important. The celebration of International Women's Day started from the year 1975. The Karnataka government has been the first state to declare 50% reservation for women in the local bodies. So lucky we all Kannadigas are. Next is the farmers' movement. Farmers are the backbone of the nation. The first farmers' movement after independence in the year 1951 in the Kodagu of Shivamogga district. The movement was against the measuring instrument named Kolaga. Kolaga is an instrument that looks like a jug. I think you must have seen this kind of measuring instrument. So that was used to measure the produce grown by tenant farmer Geni Raita. A novel named Kolaga was also written by N. D'Souza. All this is very important. In 1972, Grab the Land movement took place in Kolar. In 1980, farmers from Malaprabha river belt raised their voice when their cotton crop failed. Karnataka Rajya Raita Sangraha was formed first in Shivamogga district. Again important. Bagur Navile movement. Bagur Navile is a tunnel. It's a water tunnel that was constructed from 1979 to 1990. So this tunnel is located between the Bagur and Navile villages of Channarayapattana, Taluk of Hassan district, Karnataka. It is the India's longest water tunnel and it supplies water to the villages like Bagur, Navile and some other surrounding villages. Then we have the important Dalit movement. A famous psychologist R.D. Leong said, "You can understand the experience of the other person, but you can never experience the same experience." How true is this? In 1936, under the leadership of M.C. Raja, a prominent Dalit leader of South India, Dalits entered the palace of Mysuru for the first time. Again important. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar was called as the Dalit son. Dalit movement during 1970s. It was a turning point for the Dalit movement during 1970s because of the Busa incident of Basavalingappa of 1973. What is this Busa incident? In Mysuru, a minister of Karnataka government, his name was Basavalingappa. He opined that all the literature in Kannada till then is nothing but busa, that is cow fodder or rice husk. Which person will like this comment? No one. So all the Kannadigas were agitated and agitation started all over Karnataka. Finally, Basavalingappa had to resign. Shyam Sundar founded Bhimasena in 1917 Hyderabad, Karnataka. In 1976, Dalit Writers and Artists Association was started in Bhadravati. Again important. Under this, Karnataka Dalit Sangharsha Samiti DSS was founded. Professor B. Krishnappa was its state coordinator. Dalit writers Devanuru Mahadeva and Dr. Siddhalingaya. To decide the medium of instructions, a committee was formed and Professor V.K. Gokak, that is Vinayak Krishna Gokak, was the chairperson of this committee. It is called as V.K. Gokak Committee. It is important. This V.K. Gokak Committee gave certain recommendations. What did it say? That Kannada should be given priority and it should be made a compulsory language. 3 language formulas should be there and the first language should be Kannada with 125 marks. These were the recommendations of V.K. Gokak. But all the recommendations of the V.K. Gokak were rejected. Agitations by Kannada scene artist Dr. Rajkumar, slogans for the VK Gokak committee recommendations and the Gokak agitations were done. Like, the name is Karnataka, let the breath be Kannada. Let Kannada thrive, towards that we strive. Implement Gokak report and let Karnataka be filled with the fragrance of Kannada. All these slogans are so catchy and they are all very important. After all these agitations, finally VK Gokak was accepted. VK Gokak report or the Gokak report was accepted. Then we have the Panchayat Raj system, decentralization of administration. In 1955, the central government formed a committee under the chairmanship of Balwant Rai Mehta. This committee recommended 3-tier local administration system. The 3 levels of administration system was Gram Panchayat, Taluk Panchayat and Zilla Panchayat. Gram Panchayat is at the village level, Taluk Panchayat is at the taluk level and Zilla Panchayat is at the district level. Janata government came to power in Karnataka in 1983. The architects of this system was the Minister of Panchayat Raj, Shri Nazir Saab. He is very important. Here we have completed the 6th lesson. 7th lesson is Karnataka Economic and Social Transformation. Various measures were implemented to solve the problems with regard to the land holdings. These measures were called as land reforms. Abolition of the zamindari system. In 1955, a committee was formed under the leadership of ex-Vice President of India, B.D. Jatti. According to this, 116 acres of dry land and 27 acres of irrigated land was to be given to every family and it was implemented in 1957, 10 years after independence. Land reform law, but this thing which happened did not make much difference. So a land reform law was made in 1974. This played a decisive role in changing the existing system. 1 acre is equal to either 100 cents or 40 guntas. In 1974, CMD Devraj Urs brought into force a revolutionary law. He said what? The tiller is the owner of the land. Maximum limit of owning the land, a family could have 54 acres of the fertile land with no facility of water. If the land had irrigation facility and more than one crop was grown, then the family could have only 10 to 18 acres. Irrigated land with only one crop grown, then the maximum 27 acres. Either of these. In 1977, the Inam Cancellation Act came into being. What is this Inam? Inams were the lands that were granted to the Allies by the Britishers as a gift for their loyalty towards the British. Inam Cancellation Act prevented the private owning of such lands. Cooperative farming system. Crop is harvested and sold. Money is set aside for the long-term development and the land and divide the rest of the money among themselves. The non-Brahmins like Sahukar Chennaiya, M. Basayya and others began a non-Brahmin movement in Mysuru province. This is important. For the first time in India during the rule of Krishna Raja Vadiyar IV, a backward classes commission was appointed in 1918 under the chairmanship of Justice Leslie C. Miller. The first reservation rule came into force in 1921. All this is important. CMD Devraj Urs appointed the first backward classes commission under the chairmanship of L.G. Havanur in 1975. This is very, very important. It was asked several times in the previous competitive exams. The T. Venkataswamy's commission was appointed in 1983. Here we have completed the 7th lesson. Let's see the 8th lesson, Women Freedom Fighters. This lesson as a whole is very important. Please read as much as you can and make as many questions as possible from this lesson because it is very important from the point of view of competitive exams. The first women freedom fighter is Rani Abbakka Devi. In the previous video, that is the 7th standard part 1 history, I already told you to read as much as you can about this Rani Abbakka Devi because she is very important. Let's see. Chauta dynasty that ruled Ullalla. She belongs from Chauta dynasty. Rani Abbakka Devi versus Portuguese. First, she rejected the demand of the Portuguese for taxes, and in 1555, Abbakka won the battle against the Portuguese. Portuguese couldn't take this, so in 1568, the viceroy of the Portuguese, Antonio Noronha, entered Ullalla. In 1570, Abbakka made an agreement with the Sultan of Bijapur and Zamorin of Calicut to fight against the Portuguese and to remain safe. Veera Rani Abbakkana Utsava is celebrated every year at Ullalla. Veera Rani Abbakka Devi Award is given to the women achievers every year. On 15th January 2003, the Postal Department brought out a postal envelope which had her picture. All this is important. The second we have Bellari Siddhamma. She was married to a freedom fighter Murugappa. She participated in the convention of the Congress Party at Shivapura in 1938. She courted arrest by hoisting the flag on 13th February 1938. She was the first woman to participate in hoisting the flag in the state of Mysuru. Again, very important. Who was the first woman to participate in hoisting the flag in the state of Mysuru? It was Bellari Siddhamma. Mysuru Chalo or Aramane Satyagraha. She participated in this also. She became the MLA of Davangere. She established Matru Mandir to protect the health of the rural women. State government honored her with copper plate. Third is Kamala Devi Chattopadhyay. She remarried Harindranath Chattopadhyay. She participated in the non-cooperation movement. Kamala Devi and Avanti Bai Gokhale were the first women to participate in the salt agitation and break the law of the British. This is important. Please remember Kamala Devi and Avantibai Gokhale. They were the first women to participate in the salt agitation and break the law of the British. Gandhiji sold the salt by telling, "You buy this salt and the price is 6 months imprisonment." He was imprisoned for 6 months in Eravada Jail, Pune. She was awarded. Kamala Devi Chattopadhyay was awarded with Padma Bhushan in 1955, Padma Vibhushan in 1987, Vatmal Foundation Award in 1962, Raymond Magsaysay Award in 1966, Shanti Bharat Desi Kotam Award, and Central Academy Award. All these awards were given to Kamala Devi Chattopadhyay. Then we have Yashodaramma Dasappa. She married H.C. Dasappa, the third son of Rao Sahib Channaya, in 1923. He was also a great freedom fighter. Participated in Shivapura Flag Satyagraha in 1938. Shivapura Flag Satyagraha is also famous as Shivapura Dwaja Satyagraha that happened in Mandya district of Karnataka. The flag was hoisted on 9th April 1938 by Siddhalingayya. That is very important. Shivapura's flag satyagraha is very important. Please read as much as you can about it. She published articles on Quit India movement in Jwale newspaper that was printed secretly. She became the MLA in the independent Mysuru state. Later she became MP. She also served as the Minister of Welfare in the cabinet of S. Nijalingappa. Then Uma Bai Kundapur. She wrote a drama in Marathi, Swadeshi Vrat, important, to carry the message of Swadeshi and its importance. She took the leadership of Women Unit of Seva Dal, which was started by N.S. Hardekar in 1923. Again important. Played an important role in National Convention of Congress at Belgaum in 1924. Here we have completed the 8th lesson. The last lesson and the 9th lesson is the integration of Karnataka and border disputes. The extent of Karnataka state was from river Kaveri to river Godavari as explained in Kavi Rajamarga, a famous work written by Sri Vijaya. After Tipu Sultan's death, the Kannada speaking regions were distributed among 20 administrative divisions of different languages. Karnataka integration movement had the slogan of one state, one administration. Karnataka Vidya Vardhaka Sangha was established in 1890 under the chairmanship of R.H. Deshpande. Deputy Channa Basappa was called as the Tiger of Kannada. Very important. Kannada Sahitya Parishad was established in 1915 in Bengaluru. Karnataka Ekikarana Sabha was started in Dharwad in 1916. In the National Convention of INC at Belgavi in 1924, Hoyalagola Narayana Rao initiated the Karnataka integration process by singing Udayavagali Namma Cheluva Kannada Nadu. Let our Kannada land be arisen as a welcome song. Gandhiji was the president of the convention. All this is very important. Everything is important in fact. Newspapers like Vishwa Karnataka, Nava Karnataka, Vagbhushana, Jaya Karnataka, Samyukta Karnataka, all these were published. Elluru Venkatarayya, very important person. He was the senior most person who worked for the integration of Karnataka. Elluru Venkatarayya wrote a book titled Karnataka Gatha Vaibhava, which means the past glory of Karnataka. The Kannadigas of Hyderabad Karnataka region gave him the title Kannada Kula Purohita, the high priest of Kannada clan. This was asked several times in several competitive exams. Please remember who was called as the Kannada Kula Purohita, the high priest of Kannada clan. It was Elluru Venkatarayya. Kuvempu wrote Jaya He Karnataka Mate and Nee Mettuva Nela Ade Karnataka. The land that you stand on is Karnataka. Kayyaraki Yannarai fought for the integration of Kasaragodu with Karnataka till his death. Post-independence integration movement of Karnataka. This happened in 3 stages. In the first stage, the 20 administrative divisions of Karnataka were redistributed in 5 categories. We all know that after the death of Tipu Sultan, the Karnataka regions or the Kannada speaking regions were divided into the 20 administrative divisions of different language speaking areas. Those divisions of Karnataka were redistributed in 5 categories, that is Mysuru, Bombay, Madras, Hyderabad and Kodagu. Stage 2. The universal election for the Indian Parliament was held in 1951-52. Akhand Karnataka Rajya Nirmana Parishad was founded in 1952. Again important. When Andhra Pradesh was created, 7 talukas of Bellary district were merged with Mysuru state. In 1952, an Andhra leader, Potti Sri Ramalu, demanded Andhra state, fasted for 58 days and then died. After his death, PM Nehru declared the central government to create the state of Andhra Pradesh. Andhra state was formed in 1953. So in the second state, we can see that Akhand Karnataka Rajya Nirmana Parishad was found in 1952. And in 1953, after the creation of Andhra Pradesh, the 7 talukas of Bellary district were merged with the Mysuru state. So this was the second stage. In the third stage, the central government formed a commission called the State Reorganization Commission, chaired by S. Fazal Ali. It was also called as Fazal Ali Commission. H. N. Kunzru and K. M. Panikkar were its members. The Vishala Mysuru state came into existence on 1st November 1956. It had 19 districts then. But presently, in Karnataka, we have 31 districts. D. Devraj Urs became the chief minister and he renamed the Mysuru state as Karnataka on 1st November 1973. So the state of Karnataka was created on the same date, that is 1st November, and it was renamed as Karnataka on the same date, that is 1st November. Only the years are different. That is, the Vishala Mysuru state came into existence in 1956 CE, whereas it was renamed as Karnataka in 1973 CE. Dispute between Karnataka, Maharashtra and Kerala. Central government formed one-member commission, Shri Mahajan, a retired SC judge, as chairperson in 1965. In report it said, Akkalakoti and Jatta of Maharashtra, Kasaragodu of Kerala should go to Karnataka, whereas Nippani, Khanapur and Halyala should go to Maharashtra. With this, we have completed the 9th lesson as well. So here we have completed the whole history, the complete history of 7th standard part 2 text book. Now it's time for quiz. So let's play quiz. As usual, you will be given only 5 seconds to give your answer. Please be quick and let's begin. The first question is, who was appointed as the first Portuguese viceroy or governor in India? Your options are A. Alfonso de Albuquerque, B. Francisco de Almeida, C. Count de Lally, or D. is it Cornwallis? The answer is Francisco de Almeida. He was appointed as the first Portuguese viceroy, that is governor in India. Second, English obtained a permission for free trade in the Bengal province from which Mughal emperor? The options are A. Jahangir, B. Farrukhsiyar, C. Shah Alam II and D. Akbar II. The answer is Farrukhsiyar. Third question, who made all trade tax-free in Bengal? A. Mir Jafar, B. Mir Qasim, C. Shujauddaulah or D. Alivardi Khan? The answer is Mir Qasim. Fourth, Who accepted the subsidiary alliance of Wellesley for the first time in 1798 CE? A. Mysuru, B. Hyderabad, C. Travancore, or D. Baroda? And the answer is B. Hyderabad. Fifth question. Who introduced the Rathwari system? A. Lord Cornwallis, B. Thomas Munro, C. Hector Munro, or D. William Bentinck? The answer is D. Thomas Munro. Sixth question. Who described the British in India as the plunderers? A. Dadabhai Naoroji, B. Mahatma Gandhi, C. Adam Smith, or D. Subhash Chandra Bose? And the answer is C. Adam Smith, the father of economics, described the British in India as the plunderers. The seventh question is, which Indian reformist was the first to support English education in India? And the options are A. Macaulay, B. Raja Ram Mohan Roy, C. Swami Vivekananda, or D. Annie Besant? And the answer is Raja Ram Mohan Roy. He was the first Indian reformist to support English education in India. Eighth question. Who was Dr. B.R. Ambedkar's philosophical guide? A. Mahatma Gandhi ji, B. Mahatma Jyotiba Phule, C. Gopalakrishna Gokhale, or D. V.K. Gokak? And the answer is B. Mahatma Jyotiba Phule. Ninth question. Who called Swami Vivekananda as the father of Indian nationalism? A. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, B. Bose, C. Bal Gangadhar Tilak, or D. Lala Lajpat Rai? And the answer is C. Bal Gangadhar Tilak. The 10th question. Who established the organization Torch Bearers to eradicate child marriage and superstitions? The options are A. Henry Vivian de Rosio, B. Subhash Chandra Bose, C. Annie Besant, or D. H.S. Oldcoat? And the answer is C. Annie Besant. 11th question. Who fought against the British from Naragut? A. Nana Sahib, B. Rani Channamma, C. Baba Sahib, or D. Umabai Kuldapur? Are you getting confused? It is C. Baba Sahib. This is just the starting. Competitive exams will be more tough. The 12th question is, which of the following is wrongly matched? A. Bal Gangadhar Tilak, Kesari, B. Bipin Chandra Pal, Vande Mataram, C. Annie Besant, New India, or D. Gandhiji's Young India? Come on. Answer soon. The answer is B. Bipin Chandra Pal, Vande Mataram. Vande Mataram was the newspaper that was started by Aurobindo Ghosh. Bal Gangadhar Tilak started Kesari and Maratha. Maratha was in English and Kesari in Marathi. Gandhiji started Young India as well as Harijan. Annie Besant started New India. So the answer is Bipin Chandra Pal. Thirteenth question. People had gathered in the Jallianwala Bagh to demonstrate against the arrest of whom? A. Bhagat Singh, Rajguru and Sukhdev, B. Gandhiji and his followers, C. Dr. Saifuddin Kichlu and Dr. Satyapal, or D. Subhash Chandra Bose? And the answer is very simple. I think most of them have got this. It is C. Dr. Saifuddin Kichlu and Dr. Satyapal. 14th question. Who was the first martyr to be hanged in the history of the freedom struggle? A. Khudiram Bose, B. Bhagat Singh, C. Rajguru, or D. Sukhdev? This is very simple. I think most of you have got it. A. Khudiram Bose. 15th. On whose invitation did Gandhiji go to South Africa? A. Africa's government, B. Dada Abdullah's company, C. Secret society, D. British? And the answer is B. Dada Abdullah Company. 16th, who established Khudayat Khidmatgar? A. Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, B. Ali Brothers, C. Muhammad Ali Jinnah, or D. Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan? The answer is D. Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan. 17th question, who was the first woman mayor of Bengaluru? Rukmannamma, B. Srirangamma, C. Indiramma, D. Tarabai Shinde? The answer is C. Indiramma. Rukmannamma and Srirangamma, they were the first women who got BA Honours degree in Karnataka. Indiramma was the first woman mayor of Bengaluru. 18th question, who enforced the law that tiller is the owner of the land in Karnataka? The options are A. S. Nijlingappa, B. Elluru Venkatarayya, C. Jaya Chamarajendra Vatiyar, or D. Devraj Urs? And the answer is D. Devraj Urs. 19th question, who was the first woman to participate in hoisting of the flag in Mysuru? A. Yashodaramma Dasappa, B. Bellari Siddhamma, C. Umabai Kundapur, or D. Kamala Devi Chattopadhyay? And the answer is B. Bellari Siddhamma. The last question, who wrote Karnataka Gatha Vaibhava? A. Elluru Venkatarayya, B. R.H. Deshpande, C. Hoyalagola Narayana Rao, and D. Deputy Channabasappa? Karnataka Gatha Vaibhava, very important. The answer is A. Elluru Venkatarayya. Please don't forget to comment down your score. Out of 20, how much did you get right? Thank you for watching. Please do like, comment, share, subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon. Thank you.